Hi, friends. My name is Toni Cureton. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Life Skills FYI. Life Skills FYI provides a set of core adult capabilities to manage work, family, and relationships successfully. It's designed to help build the skills adults need for life. Life Skills FYI teaches skills of planning, awareness, focus, self-control, and flexibility. They are daily living skills to promote successful, independent living, skills that every adult should know, but were never taught in school. Life Skills FYI premieres on Thursdays at 10 a.m. on our My Virtual Academy Facebook page and on Instagram. Today, we are going to talk about how to avoid rental listing scams. So, rental property listing scams typically aim to steal money from interested renters. Whether you're searching for a home to rent for your family or the perfect off-campus college apartment, it can be tempting to snap up an appealing property before taking time to do your research, and scammers know this. This is particularly true if you are on a tight deadline to find a place, making it even more important to be on the lookout for potential fraud. Rental scams are a well-known tool for identity theft, and victims can lose thousands of dollars paying fees to false entities. And today, I'd like to share a few tips to help you spot the warning signs of fraud and avoid getting scammed. So, one clue to a scam is a rental price that is too low for the neighborhood that you're looking at. If you see an affordable apartment in your dream location and the rent is way below what other apartments or houses are in that area, then that is a red flag. That is a sign for you to take a pause and do some investigation. Scammers often prey on first-time renters and college students or long-distance movers, people moving from out of state to a new town. And they're anxious about finding a new home, and they're trying to get one quickly. They're trying to relocate quickly. To rush them into a fraudulent transaction, a scammer may advertise that they have a rare opportunity which might disappear quickly. Keep in mind that the purpose of this rush to decision is to put pressure on you in order to take advantage of you. What you need to do to avoid this type of scam is remember, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Rental prices, they remain consistent throughout an area. If an apartment or a house are relatively the same size, in the same location, and offer the same amenities, then there's going to be a consistent pricing amongst that group of property. And so if you come across one where the rent for that kind of apartment or house is a lot lower than everything else that you've been looking at, then that's a sign. That's a signal that you need to watch for. They also have rent estimate calculators that are online, and you can use these estimators to calculate the baseline of what the going rate would be for rental properties in that area. If you're interested in listing where the rental price is and you find that it's under, below market rate, super low, you should ask the property manager or the landlord up front, why is the rent so low for this area? I've compared other homes and other apartments in this area, and they're charging, you know, X amount for the same, relatively the same type of property, and wait for them to give you an explanation as to why the rent for their property is low. Make sure that you keep copies of all your communication. If you're communicating by text, by email, make sure you keep these copies, because you may find yourself in a position where you'll need to reproduce them. Next, is this a legitimate listing? When you're searching for rentals online, if you come across the same listing under a different name, then that's a clue it may be a scam. Scammers often hijack actual legitimate rentals or real estate listings and change the email address and the other contact information that they have listed there. And then they'll place the modified ad on another listing site to attract renters. What you should do in this instance is, when you're searching for listings that you're interested in, make sure that if you see them elsewhere online, if you find that the property is listed on another major rental listing site, make sure that the listing contains the same contact information, the same landlord, the same address, and the same details on the property. Search online for the management company, look up their name, and then add words like review or complaint or scam, and see if anything comes up. And if you see bad reviews, read them, because reviews play a very key part as to whether or not the company or the individual provides good customer service, or provides a good product, or stands behind their product. Reviews play, when you're not in person, reviews are very helpful. Next, you should consider how they are requesting payment. A red flag should go up if a landlord or a property manager requests that you pay with cash or gift cards or wire transfer or a money order. Wired money and money orders are like sending cash. Once you send it, you have no way to accurately trace it and trace it back to who cashed the money order. What you should do in this instance, typically the safest way to make any type of rental payment is through your bank, by check or electronic deposit, or pay by credit card. This way, there is a clear, easy to access record where your money went. Scammers will insist that you pay in ways that make it hard to get your money back, like wire transfers or cash or cryptocurrency, or through payment apps like Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle. Even if they say that your money can be refunded, more likely than not, you will not get it back. Next, if you're being asked to provide personal information before they allow you to view the property and, tour the place and see it in person, not only should this be a red flag for you, but you should stop immediately and say, I don't think this, I don't think this is for me, because you should be able to view the property before making any type of payment. You should also request a tour of the property before submitting a rental application or providing any personal information like your credit card number or your social security number or even your date of birth. Most scammers don't have an actual rental property to show you. So seeing the rental property in person will help you be able to identify whether or not the unit actually exists. So what you should do in this case is, whenever possible, see the property in person. If you're unable to view the rental in person because maybe you're moving, long distance or to another state, request an online tour or even consider engaging an agent, a property management company or a friend, and ask them to go and view the property on your behalf. If the landlord claims that they're unavailable to show the property or conditions of the property that they have in the picture don't match uh, what you see in person or what is seen in person, this is a red flag and you should walk away from this transaction. Next, you should be concerned if there is no tenant screening process. As a tenant, you'll want to rent from a legitimate, reputable property management company or landlord who does things legally. Professional landlords almost always have a set tenant screening process that they follow to ensure that they choose tenants who are going to be able to pay rent and take care of their property. If a landlord does not require a rental application and credit checks, you should consider this as a red flag. The landlord is either unconcerned about picking a good tenant because it's a scam, or they're unconcerned because there are um, because they're negligent landlords and they don't care about the condition of their property, or they're inexperienced and new and they don't know everything that they need to know in order to be a landlord. In either case, you should really be suspicious and concerned and consider looking at another rental place. So, if they want you to complete and sign a blank lease or rental agreement, this is a definite red flag. One reason why every renter needs to read through the entire lease is to make sure and make sure that it's complete, is to make sure that you are not signing and agreeing to things that you don't want or you don't feel and you shouldn't be obligated to. A landlord or a property manager that asks you to sign an incomplete lease does not have your best interest in mind, because they can change the lease whenever they want. They can add whatever, they can remove things, and then that puts you in a bad position because now you've signed your name to a leasing agreement with terms and conditions that you didn't agree to. By going through your lease and making sure that there are no blank spaces, that there is no vague writing or incomplete sentences, you are making sure that you are not going to be harmed down the line or manipulated by that lease in the future. So, what to do if you find yourself a victim of a rental scam? First thing you need to do is contact the police. They will press charges and possibly return any money you may have lost. Next, you should contact the listing website where you saw the property listed online. They can ensure that the fraudulent listing is taken down and report the lister as someone trying to commit fraud. Next, you should report it to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. The Federal Trade Commission is responsible for protecting consumers, specifically when it comes to how business handles your personal information or if an individual is falsely claiming to run a business. Your final takeaways. Anyone can fall victim to a rental scam. With the advancement of technology, scammers, they become so sophisticated and conniving, They can convince you pretty much of anything online. And because it is digital online, you have no real way of proving otherwise. But if you follow these tips that I've shared with you today, and you ask questions, ask a ton of questions and document everything, then you will position yourself to be able to detect the warning signs of possible rental fraud, and you can avoid getting scammed. Well, friends, that is all my time for today. Thanks so much for tuning in to Life Skills FYI. Feel free to reach out and contact me if you have any questions. Again, my name is Toni Cureton, and my number is 586-842-0558. That's 586-842-0558. Thanks again, and we will see you next time on Life Skills FYI. And remember, always to adult responsibly.